Yeah, there is a funny experience. One time we knocked on this door, and the guy opens it and like stares blankly at us, and then just like passes out, falls over on the floor. Like, what just happened? And I don't think he was out for very long, but he must have just gotten lightheaded from getting up off his seat or something. We thought that was kind of funny, kind of random. Probably flooding. Yeah, I remember our umbrellas didn't do us any good because the rain was just, we were soaked, and we'd have to cross the street, and the whole street was, there was no way to cross without just wading through it.
How deep was it, do you remember?
A couple feet, yeah. Yeah, so we definitely got wet during the rainy season anyway along the coast. There was something that the MTC teachers would always do, that something like this, and they would snap like that, and I used to know how to do that, but now I can't do it anymore. That's probably the most random skill I learned. Obedience. Had a lot of testimony building experiences from being obedient, even though maybe the rule didn't make a lot of sense. I saw some direct, tangible results. Wow, okay, it's important to be obedient even though I don't understand. Cowhead tacos. So, and I think usually they'll carve the meat off the skull, but in this case, they had just chopped up the skull and threw everything into a pot to boil. So there was like bone in there, and there was, cartilage, and anyway, I had a hard time getting it down. In the MTC, actually, I remember trying to say I was embarrassed, and a lot of times the Spanish and English word will have the same root, but embarazada or embarazado in Spanish is pregnant, so it's not embarrassed. Avergonzado is embarrassed, and so I once said that I was pregnant in the MTC. I was quickly corrected by one of the native speakers. So. We were tracting in Shafter, and there was this little fuzzy, hairy dog that was, just trotting along the sidewalk. And on the other side of the fence in somebody's yard was a huge Rottweiler, and the Rottweiler was just going crazy, like barking at this little dog, walking across the sidewalk. And I just watched incredulously as this Rottweiler jumped on the fence and kept jumping until he gained enough momentum to flip over, and he V-lined it to that dog and just shook it like a rag doll and just threw it, and probably landed 10 feet away and limped under this car whimpering, and he had this huge hairball on his mouth, the big dog did. I was like, oh my gosh, we were too far away to do anything, but I just felt so bad for that dog. I don't know if it made it. I hope it did. But it's probably the most traumatic dog story I have. I think I was in Delano at the time, and I was on exchanges with my district leader. And we were walking home. And Delano isn't like a real safe area. It's got some sketchy parts. And anyway, we were walking back to our apartment at night, so it's after dark. And we still have a couple minutes to get home. So we see a guy, coming through the gas station parking lot that we're going through. So we decided, stop and talk with him. And, we're having this conversation with him, gauging his interest in learning more. And, a couple of thugs, come over, and, they mean us no harm, but they said something to this guy like, what did you say? And they just got in his face, and he's like, I didn't say anything, and he didn't. So I have no idea, maybe they were, belonged to different gangs or something, and they both knew that or something. But the guy we were talking to is like, dude, I didn't say anything to you. And anyway, so one guy just punches him in the face, and then the other guy pulls out a knife. And my district leader gets between us, like, hey, guys, no, don't do this. It's like, man. Anyway, so we found somebody with a phone that was able to call the cops, and luckily nobody was stabbed or hurt, really. But anyway, that was it's a little scary. That was my second area, so I'd probably been out maybe 3 or 4 months. So never seen anything like that happen before. It's interesting. We would go places where I would never go right now, and yet I didn't feel scared. And we'd be walking through areas, and some of the somebody would ask us, "What are you doing here? Like, it's really dangerous. Like, you guys are a target. You don't need to be coming through here." And but I never really felt scared. I feel a lot more scared now if I walk somewhere in the dark that's a little sketchy. But I don't know. You have a protection as a missionary, but I would say just be obedient to the mission president. Like, the mission president usually knows the sketchy areas, or is in tune enough with the Spirit, or he can give some guidance and direction of what to look out for. But I don't know. I didn't feel like there were any areas that were off limits for us. I didn't feel scared. Didn't feel threatened at all. So there's just a protection for missionaries. But obviously, use common sense, and if you feel a strong prompting to stay away from a certain area, by all means, stay away, and definitely be obedient to the mission president. That would be my counsel. A lot of the stuff that they recommended us bringing, I didn't need. Like, I didn't need big trench coat. I didn't need snow boots. But that's probably changed by now, I would think. So I don't know that any of my advice is relevant today. I think they have streamlined it quite a bit since I left. Other than read the Book of Mormon, doing missionary work before your mission, talking to people, creating relationships. I don't know. I was a little antisocial before my mission, and it was kind of a hard transition going from antisocial to talking to everybody that I saw. So I think the more comfortable you can get, talking with people and building relationships before the mission, the better. It's really hard to be shy as a missionary. It doesn't work very well.